Hello, welcome to my first YouTube video. I recently purchased a Blue Alpine freeze dryer, and my wife and I decided to go up to the factory to pick it up rather than having it shipped to us. And by doing so, they gave us a $100 discount, and they also threw in a few extra pieces for us for free. So let me go ahead. I've decided to do I guess this would be my box opening or my package opening. Kind of show you what I received for from Blue Alpine for my freeze dryer. So we'll start, I guess, with the freeze dryer. So it basically, when I showed up to pick it up, it was already packaged up and on a big wooden pallet, and the cardboard box was about 4.5 feet tall. But I had a Dodge minivan to pick it up in, and didn't have room for the full case they had, and didn't need a forklift. If I had a truck, it would have been great, but with my minivan, rather than digging it out of their storage unit, which was hiding behind 3 other ones, they just gave me a new one directly from the factory. They just finished, and they'd wrapped up. It was going to go to somebody else. They'll just take mine and repackage it for somebody else. So this is how I got it. It was wrapped in what looks like a carpet underlayment. And then that would have been in a cardboard box. If I had it shipped to me, this would have been inside a cardboard box. But as it is just wrapped in plastic, and the cardboard, or the garbage, or yeah, what do you call it, carpet liner, carpet underlayment was what they wrapped it to ship it in. So pretty solid, or pretty well protected for shipping. I'm sure if it was shipped to me, it would have arrived with no problems. But this is it. I did order. They did give me the option or color. I could choose black or blue, and my wife's favorite color is blue, so I opted for the blue freeze dryer instead of the black. And I do like this color. So this is the freeze dryer itself. I did buy a large when I ordered it. I purchased it back in I think March, about middle of March, and they hadn't actually started producing the large ones yet. They were still making just the medium size freeze dryers, but I wanted the large, and they told me it would be another month or 2 to get it, and I told them I was willing to wait. And since I wanted to pick it up, I needed to arrange it with another trip I was going, driving up I was going to be about 100 miles away from them anyway, so if it was another trip, so I decided to just wait and pick it up on May. So I picked it up on May 8th, and this is it. This is the adapter to release the vacuum. So that's the, I guess that's the part I put away. So this is the way to lock and unlock the air, or the vacuum, to release the air vacuum. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at the actual freeze dryer itself. It's about 1 inch thick plexiglass. So the pump, it's probably about 25-30 pounds. It's not that light. There's a pint of oil, and my understanding is that's just break-in oil. It's just to break in the pump the first time you use it. There's the power cord to connect it, and so owner's manual, or user's manual down below, and the pump. So this is the pump. I'm opening up the box here. First thing I noticed is a package of Skittles. Now, why would they throw Skittles in? I do know that they have a candy setting here, and he said that to run the candy, he said it takes about an hour to run Skittles, and they just recommend that be your first one. Just kind of get used to it, and get used to running the machine, how it runs. They suggest that running a package of Skittles it just takes an hour and a half to do it, because it's not actually freeze drying. It just actually uses the heating mode, vacuums it out, and so that is their suggestion. They also have a owner's manual here, which is basically got all kinds of instructions on how to. It's got a couple of recipe suggestions and information about the dryer. I will read through this, and if I see anything, I'll read through all this before I start doing the setup, and I'm sure it includes how to set it up and all the parts and stuff. So it includes a owner's manual. Throw in a couple of oxygen absorbers, so that when you're freeze drying, you want to not, after freeze dry, you don't want to let it in the oxygen, so you need to let in the oxygen keep the oxygen out of it so it doesn't suck in water. They also included 50 Mylar bags that you can seal. So these are Ziploc and sealable long-term vacuum seal bags, or not vacuum seal, but just Mylar bags to store food in. There's a Torx wrench for T20 Torx wrench. I'm not exactly sure what that is, other than it does take off. It matches the screws for the door, for all sides. So if you do need to access the panels, the Torx screws included, the Torx wrench, and the T-bar here, which I'm not sure what the metrics are, the size is on this. It looks like about a 4 to 5 millimeter, but that's for the that is to remove the drain plug for that's for the drain plug when you're draining the oil. So that plugs in right here, and you take out the drain plug like that. So, and this is where I plan on inserting a clear PVC line that I can then use to filter it through a filter. So rather than pulling the plug in and out after every couple of runs, and strawberries or something wet maybe after every run, rather than changing the oil or filtering it slowly by hand, I plan on running a diesel filter through here, so I can hopefully make that oil last a little longer. So there's that part. What else is included in here is the plug for, this is the power supply that plugs into the actual Blue Alpine. I do know, that's a pretty heavy duty cord. I know they say this draws about 17 amps when it's running. They want it on its own dedicated 20 amp circuit. I do have a newly installed circuit. There's a new plug here I installed right here next to where I'm having this prior here. It's got a bright orange plug, and that is to let the family know that nothing should be plugged into that orange plug except for my freeze dryer. I just did that because I wanted to make sure that we didn't accidentally run something else on here and possibly blow a fuse. And then the other part that was included in this box was five freeze dryer trays, and these are 13 by 18 inch, a little bit wider than the other companies, and so there's 5 trays, and with those 5 trays they also included 5 silicone mats, so that the food you're freeze drying doesn't stick to the tray. Makes it easier to pull the food up off there. So they gave me 5 silicone trays, or 5 silicone mats, and 5 cookie sheets, or 5, I guess you call them cookie sheets, 5 freeze dryer trays. So that's it. Now, the only other thing that they gave me is the Impulse Mylar bag sealer. So let's open that and see what that looks like. So this is an electric Mylar bag sealer. So it has a Teflon bar in here with the heating under there, and this piece up here. You just put your Mylar bag in there, seal that, hold it for a few seconds until it seals, and then come back off. So that's the sealer. Plan on, don't know if that handle locks in place or not. It doesn't look like this, so maybe I'll leave this elastic band on for a little longer. So that's the Mylar bag sealer. And because I drove to their factory to pick it up, they gave me, in addition to a $100 discount, they gave me 5 more silicone mats and 5 more trays. So while I've got trays in the freeze dryer, I can also be putting 5 more trays of food together, or that I can then stick in a freezer and pre-freeze it. So it just saves you time. So I've got twice as many trays, so I could fit 5 trays in the freezer and 5 that I can be assembling for the next load. So don't know if that would really help a lot, unless I decide to freeze them in another freezer, and pre-freezing them, that would help. I would just like to thank any of you who have actually made it to the end of this video, and I would like to apologize for the poor sound quality. There's a lot of wrapper noises in the background, just a lot of background noise. This is my first YouTube video, and I realize now that I don't have the correct equipment to film one. So as I make more of these, I will try to get better equipment to improve on the lighting and the sound. But thank you for sitting through this with me. I want to explain why I'm putting putting these videos together, and one of the biggest reasons is when my sister first bought her freeze dryer, she relied very heavily on YouTube videos to know how to do the different products that she was freeze drying. And my understanding is that Blue Alpine has completely different settings. The way you set it up and freeze dry things, it's faster because you can adjust settings. Those settings do have consequences, and so I'm not sure exactly how each product runs, but as I experiment with mine, I will try to make videos to share my mistakes and my successes with you, and hopefully my channel will be able to show the Blue Alpine specific settings that you need to run different products. There are plenty of videos out there for people using other products, for other freeze dryer, but for people using Blue Alpine machines, I don't know of any other web channels out there, YouTube channels, that are doing products specifically for the Blue Alpine. So as I freeze dry different products, I will share with you. I plan to share with YouTube the different successes and failures that I have, and I will start with how to set up my machine and how to run the candy, which is a very simple preset setting. So hope you come back, and thank you for sitting through as much of this video as you could tolerate. Once again, thank you, and talk to you later.